The 6th Louisiana Infantry Regiment were known for being a rowdy, unorganized group of soldiers, yet still got their job done during their time in the Civil War. The story of the 6th Louisiana is an interesting one, to say the least. It all started when a man by the name of Robert Wheat came back from Italy and said to himself, "Man, I can't wait to start up a company from New Orleans to fight for the Confederates." And that's just what he did. Wheat's ranks were made up of the lowest white class from the South and were said to be, end quote, the lowest scum of the lower Mississippi, adventurous wharf rats, thieves, and outcasts, and bad characters generally. On May 28, 1861, the 6th LA were beginning their training in Camp Moore. The first major battle they participated in was to come up in a month. The 6th LA advanced on Manassas, held the line for reinforcements, got pissed off and drunk when they removed the 1st LA, and then withdrew. Robert Wheat was seriously injured, and that's all that happened there. Some notable battles from 1862 includes the Battle of Middletown, where they captured 2 colors, Battle of Cross Keys and Port Republic, where 66 men were killed from the regiment. The Battle of Sharpsburg on September 17th was the bloodiest single day of the Civil War, with around 22,720 casualties. The 6th LA lost their commander Henry B. Strong in the cornfield after he was killed, which led Lieutenant Colonel Offutt to take command. The Maryland campaign took a total of 52 men from the 6th LA, which isn't too bad. Everything was quiet for several months in the beginning of 1863 until the Battle of Chancellorsville from May 1st to the 4th. They lost 81 men, and Lieutenant Colonel Hanlon was captured by the enemy. A month later, the company found themselves in the Battle of Gettysburg. Out of the 218 men they brought with them, only 157 came back unscathed from the fight. Lieutenant Jefferson D. Van Benthuizen was wounded, while Captain Louis A. Cormier was mortally wounded. The Battle of Rappahannock Station captured 699 of Hayes's Louisiana Brigade, and 89 of those were from the 6th. During the Mine Run campaign, in the remaining months of 1863, a soldier deserted from the 6th LA and was executed for treason after being found. 1864 is rather uneventful. The 6th LA took line to fight in the Battle of the Wilderness, which resulted in Major Manning being captured. 1865 saw the surrender of Appomattox, where the company surrendered 4 officers and 48 men. By the end of the war, they only had 373 men in the entire brigade. The 6th Louisiana Infantry Regiment had 1,146 men enrolled, 219 were killed in battle, 104 died from disease, 5 in accidents, 1 drowned, and 1 was executed for desertion. Those numbers may be staggering, but approximately 20%, which is 232 men, deserted throughout the entire war from the 6th LA. In conclusion, the 6th LA was made up of a bunch of drunks, thieves, criminals, and a few lawyers, but were feared by everyone due to their rowdy nature and consistency of fucking around whenever possible, unless in battle, where they mostly had their heads screwed on straight. There's so much I didn't mention about them in this video, so if you are interested, you can go to the sources below and see what those guys did in their free time. The 6th LA were also known as the Tiger Battalion for being fierce and reckless. Another nickname they had were the Zouaves, who had super cool looking uniforms, as you can see. I would like to leave you off with this story about just one incident from the battalion. The next day, the tension between the colonel and his men exploded, when 2 tigers casually walked out of the camp. Choiseul mounted his horse and rode over to investigate. The men told him that the orderly sergeant had given them permission, but the colonel was suspicious of their story. He rode over to question the sergeant, but ended up arresting him when the sergeant gave an impudent answer to his questions. Choiseul ordered his men to his quarters, and he skulked off uttering oaths under his breath. No sooner had he left than another tiger strolled over and began defending the sergeant. Out of patience, Choiseul ordered him to the guardhouse, but the man refused to go. Furious, Choiseul grabbed him by the collar and threw him to the ground. The soldier picked himself up, but still refused to obey the order. So the colonel knocked him down a second time. By then a threatening crowd of tigers was forming around Choiseul. The colonel fingered his pistol and warned he would shoot the first man who raised a finger. Immediately, as Choiseul recalled, a big, fat-fisted, ugly-looking fellow came at me and said, "God damn you, shoot me." Choiseul drew his pistol and shot him point-blank in the face. He turned as if I fired, and I hit him in the cheek, knocking out 1 upper jaw tooth and 2 lower ones on the other side and cutting his tongue. The others quickly retreated, and according to Choiseul, that quelled the riot. This video was brought to you by Galahad. He helped me with the research, and I will link his channel in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day.